Okay, welcome to your first homework assignment. First I'm going to go through some more notation that is probably new to you, and at the end I'm going to give you a task. So first we're going to talk about the different number sets, and you guys all know what numbers are, but the numbers are kind of divided into different groups depending on their characteristics. And the first one, which we learn early in life, are the natural numbers, and these are represented with the script n. And basically it's the counting numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, and also includes 0. Okay? Then there's the script z, which represents the set of integers, which are all the whole numbers, including 0, and both positive and negative. Okay? And then here we have a special case of the integers, which is z with a plus sign. That would be the positive integers, so that would be everything, all the whole numbers except for 0 and negative numbers. Then we have q, script q, which is the set of rational numbers. And the rational numbers basically are most of the numbers that we see. The exceptions would be numbers that go on forever without repeating or terminating decimals, which would be, for example, pi. Pi, as you might know, goes on forever without ever repeating any patterns. Another example would be square roots that are not whole numbers, like square root of 2 or square root of 3. These are all numbers that when they go into the decimal, they never repeat any patterns. Okay, so those are irrational numbers. Those are not rational numbers. Everything else would be a rational number. Okay? Anything that can be expressed as a fraction, by the way, is a rational number. So anything that can be represented as like a whole number over another whole number would be a rational number. Okay? And we'll talk more about that later, but you represent it with a script q. Script plus would be anything that's positive and rational. Okay? Script r would be the set of real numbers. That would be pretty much all the numbers that we're going to work with in this class, and what that doesn't include would be imaginary and complex numbers. And imaginary numbers, if you remember from the first day or second day class, we talked about imaginary numbers is anything with a component that is the square root of -1, which no real number satisfies that condition, right? You can't multiply the same number times itself and get -1 in the real number domain. Okay? R plus would be the positive real numbers. Okay, so just eliminate all the numbers, including 0 and less. Okay? Now we're going to talk about some operators for set theory. So, like, first we're going to talk about this symbol, meaning is an element of. So, for example, here's a usage of it. A is an element of letters in the alphabet, so it looks kind of like an E. Okay, not an element of would just be E with a line crossed through it. Okay, this is one that you probably haven't seen before. It's the empty set, or the null set, and so you might know that as two curly braces with nothing inside of it. U is the universal set, which means the set of all things. Okay, or at least within that problem they've given you, it's everything, all the elements in that problem, whether or not they're inside a set or not, they're included in the universal set. Okay. If you have the set A, for example, animals with 4 legs. Animals that are not in set A, or animals that don't have 4 legs, are going to be in the complement of A. And the way you write complement of A is you write A, and then you put a prime on it, this little this single quote. Okay, so that means the opposite of. So animals that don't have 4 legs, for example, in the universe of animals. So let's say that the universe the universe is all the animals, and A is animals with 4 legs. Then A prime would be all the animals that have a different number of legs or no legs. Okay. This funny looking equal sign with curvy lines means it's about equal to. So it's not exactly equal to. Okay, but it's close. Alright. Sometimes we use that when we make an estimation. We know greater than and less than, we talked about that in class. When it's not greater than, you can represent that with a greater than sign with a slash through it, and a less than with a slash through it would mean not less than. Okay, so here's the definition for that. And last of all, we're going to talk about points. Okay, on a graph. When you have a point on a graph and you label it A, okay, and it has points with coordinates x and y, we can express that as A, which is the name of the point, okay, and then x comma y would be the coordinate. Okay. If you have an angle, you guys are probably used to seeing angles written as this symbol A. Okay. In IB, they write it like this: A with a caret on top, so it's more like this. Okay, that's angle A. Okay, angle CAB. Okay, you've seen it written like this. The angle has points on it. The vertex of the angle is labeled A, and then the two sides are labeled B and C. Okay. The way IB would write that is CAB, and they would put a caret over the A. Okay, so that's there. Alright, and the rest of these notations we will cover as we come across them, because they're for concepts that you're not very familiar with, so I'm not going to go into that. So your assignment is for next class is to give me a mnemonic to remember any of these slightly different notations which you haven't seen before. Okay, it could be given as a written explanation in email, or it could be a video, or just present it however you want to. It doesn't have to be long. Okay, thank you.